parole officer locked me in the car and just left. I accidentally hit the gear shift. The car lurched straight into the river. I held my breath and looked around. The parole officer was still on the bank drinking coffee. The car slowly sank. I struggled to roll over to make some noise. No one on the deck heard a thing. I fought with the handcuffs, but couldn't get free. The parole officer noticed something was wrong. He rushed down the stairs quickly. I kicked the car door open. He smashed the car window. I slammed on the gas pedal. He jumped into the car. Both of us fell into the center of the river with the car. People on the deck noticed the commotion. The captain urgently turned the ship around. The car kept sinking. The parole officer fumbled for the keys and unlocked my handcuffs. I tried to grab his gun. He pulled me and swam outward. We both surfaced. I turned to run away. The crew threw a life ring. The parole officer grabbed my hair. I hit him unconscious with the gun butt. The crew pulled him back onto the ship. I swam as hard as I could toward the shore. I was sent to prison for a murder I didn't commit my husband's. That day, when I was on the phone with my best friend, I heard my husband's voice. Only then did I realize my husband and my best friend had framed me together to get revenge. I started working out intensely every day. While others rested, I kept running 10 kilometers. 6 years passed in the blink of an eye. On that day, I showed up at my ex-husband's auction. I bid the highest price, $10,000, to win the item. My ex-husband noticed me. I pulled him over and forced him to tell me where our son was. He had just agreed. When I caught a glimpse of the parole officer approaching, I quickly fled the venue. The next day, my ex-husband took me to a cemetery and pointed to the figure of my son. I walked over slowly. The boy disappeared around the corner. I shouted and chased after him. At the next corner, he was gone again. I felt a sense of warning and walked forward quickly. I was ambushed by my ex-husband and knocked unconscious. He dragged me and opened a tomb. When I woke up, I was already locked in a coffin. I pushed the lid with all my strength, but it didn't move at all. I took out the parole officer's service gun, aimed at the coffin hinges, pulled the trigger, and broke out of the lid. I survived and finally got my revenge. The parole officer took me into an alley and told me he had found my son. I suddenly lost all my strength and collapsed into his arms. The two of us drove to the school where the child was. I hesitated to get out of the car. I was afraid my son had long forgotten me. With the parole officer's encouragement, I took a deep breath and walked toward my son. I spotted him right away in the crowd. I called his name softly. The child walked over slowly. I asked the question I feared the most. Do you know who I am? Thankfully, the child had remembered me all along. The parole officer watched from a distance, smiling as he saw them hug each other.